Hello, friends. I'm setting up my live. I'm not sure if it started yet. There we go. All right, here we are. All right, today we're going to be talking about honesty in your kids. How many of you deal with your kids being dishonest with you? So, what would it look like in your house if you gave your kids the room to be honest with you and to fix their problems without a fear of punishment? What if your kids could come to you and say, Mom, I have a problem and I need help fixing it? And that was okay. What would that look like in your house? Would that give you freedom?
Mm,
I'm
yes.
making silly faces. All right. Kids often lie because they are trying to hide things from you. They're trying to hide things from you because they feel shame, because they don't want to disappoint you. They don't want to fix their problem, or they're afraid of punishment. So overall, your kids are probably hiding something from you because they're protecting themselves. They're trying to protect their hearts. Let me tell you this story. So my son, this was when he was throwing extra large temper tantrums often, and he came home from school. He goes to a homeschool enrichment program, and he came home and he's like, Mom, these kids tried to hit me at school. They were holding my arms and they were trying to hit me. And the teacher sent them home. And I was like, first of all, he goes to a little tiny homeschool enrichment Christian thing. Second of all, if something like that had happened, I'm sure one of the teachers would have notified me. And but I didn't tell him this. I was like, "Oh, okay, buddy. I'm sorry that happened. Do you want to tell me more about that?" And I'm like, he's like, "No, I don't want to tell you more about that." And I'm like, "Well, I'm going to have to text the teacher and find out what happened because that's kind of a big deal." And he's like, "No, don't text the teacher. Don't talk to the teacher. She said not to, that you shouldn't talk to her." And I was like, "Okay. All right, buddy." And I dropped it. So I brought it up a little bit later. I was like, "Hey, buddy, what happened at school today? I want to know. It's important that I know what happens." And he's like, I bumped into this kid and then they were chasing me around the room and then one of them was holding me and they were going to hit me, and I was like, "Oh, that's a big deal. Are you sure that's what happened?" And again, he's like, "Yeah, that's what happened, Mom." And I'm like, "Okay." And I dropped it. So we at the end of the night, so this is through the afternoon, and he had this Christmas presentation thing he had to do at school. So I didn't want to get into it with him. And I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do, but here's what ended up happening. We came home that night, and I said, "Hey, buddy, I'm going to have to talk to your teacher. No one said anything about this while we were at the Christmas thing. And it's really a big deal. If someone's trying to hit you and people got sent home, this is a big deal, and I need to help you deal with it. So I'm going to have to talk to your teacher. Are you really sure that's what happened? Because maybe you just forgot or were upset and you might have told the story a little wrong. And could you tell me what happened again?" And he stopped and he said, "Oh, Mom, I bumped into somebody and they got mad at me." I was like, "Oh, buddy, I'm so sorry that happened." And then we were able to deal with the emotions behind that instead of the punishment for telling me a story, for lying to me. And I gave him that grace and I gave him that space to tell the truth without the fear of, "You're lying to me." I said, "Oh, well, maybe you just didn't quite get the story right the first time. Do you want to try that again and let me know, because it's really important." And he totally did, and that was really good. So I want to challenge you to think, how can you help your kids to be more honest with you? How is your attitude and your behavior encouraging deception in your kids? So if I would have made a big deal, so after that, I just dropped it. We worked through the emotions, but I never addressed the "you lied to me, buddy." I never addressed that. But I did encourage honesty. I did encourage truth. So, how can you encourage truth and honesty in your house? All right, go love on your kids and go be a safe place where they don't have to be perfect and where they can have grace from you and where it's okay if they come to you with their mistakes and have that same grace for yourself. Thank you. Have a great Easter weekend and celebrate Jesus because he is so good.